Hi there, it's Kathleen Jasper, and today I want to talk about something so many of us deal with, but rarely say out loud: test anxiety and the fear of failure. I get a lot of messages about both, and honestly, those questions can be tough to answer because I'm not a counselor or therapist. I'm just a person who has anxiety, who has failed plenty of times, and who's learned a few things the hard way. And because it's not always easy to put all that into an email, I figured I'd share it here with you instead. Here's the truth: I've failed at big things, huge things. And even though I usually pick myself up and try again, I'm also just as guilty as anyone else of being my own worst critic. You know that voice. Why did I do that? Who do I think I am? That negative self talk sneaks in fast. And then, of course, there's anxiety, the fear that comes before a test, a presentation, or anything that feels like it's going to define your future. One of the biggest things I've been working on, and something that's truly helped me, is detaching from the outcome. I know, much easier said than done. But when we obsess over what might happen, we start living in the future instead of the present. And nothing productive happens when you're time traveling in your own brain. When I focus on the process, just the task in front of me, I get into that zone where everything else disappears. Kind of like when you're teaching and suddenly the bell rings and you're like, wait, where did the last hour go? If you can bring that same kind of presence into stressful moments, like sitting for a test, you'll handle things much better. And every time your mind wanders to the what if I fail spiral, don't fight the thought. Just gently bring yourself back to the task. Right now, I'm just taking this test. That's it. Now, can you get accommodations if you have diagnosed anxiety? Absolutely. And if your anxiety is truly debilitating, please see a professional. I also want to talk about failure because so much anxiety is rooted in the fear of failing. Nobody likes failing, but life isn't a straight shot upward. We all know that. We tell our students it's okay to struggle, yet the moment we struggle, we call ourselves every name in the book. We'd never talk to a student like that, so why do we talk to ourselves that way? Show yourself the same grace you'd show a kid in your classroom or even a stranger on the street. I recently had to practice what I preach. I trained 20 weeks for a marathon because I wanted to qualify for Boston. I told everyone, family, social media, the whole world. And I put in the work: early mornings, long runs, swims, speed days. But about three-quarters into training, things started to fall apart. I got sick, my knees hurt, my long runs stalled, and on race day, even though I started strong, by mile 13, my body said, nope. I stopped. I took off my bib. I found my friend and ran her in during her final mile to support her finish. And before I made that decision, I promised myself that if I stopped, I would not beat myself up for it. I kept that promise. I didn't sign up for another marathon out of punishment. I didn't tear myself down. I just let it go, showed myself some grace, and reminded myself that sometimes the right choice is to stop before you break. And I want you to do the same. If you take your certification exam and don't pass the first or even the fourth time, it's okay. You are not defined by one score on one day. Work hard, take the test, see how it goes, and detach from the timeline you've created in your head. You can always try again. And the less you punish yourself, the better you'll perform next time. So I hope this helped, even just a little. Test anxiety, failure, frustration. We all go through it, and you're going to have wins too, many of them. If you detach from the outcome and focus on the process, it gets a lot easier. If you need more help preparing for your certification exam, be sure to visit KathleenJasper.com. You'll find comprehensive, in-depth resources designed to support you every step of the way. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this helpful, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We share free strategies, tips, and updates every week to support you on your journey. And if you know someone who needs to hear this episode, please share it with them. Thanks again for being here and have an amazing day.